Exemplar-based image translation establishes dense correspondences between a conditional input and an exemplar from two different domains, for leveraging detailed exemplar styles to achieve realistic image translation. Existing work builds the cross-domain correspondences implicitly by minimizing feature-wise distances across the two domains, without explicit exploitation of domain-invariant features. This approach may not reduce the domain gap effectively, which often leads to suboptimal correspondences and image translation. In this paper, we propose Marginal Contrastive Learning Network (MCLNet) for exemplar-based image translation, which introduce contrastive learning to effectively extract domain-invariant features for building cross-domain correspondence. In particular, contrastive learning is applied to the features of the conditional input and its ground truth that are extracted by separate encoders. Each input feature vector is treated as an anchor, while the feature vector in the same spatial location is treated as positive sample and the remaining feature vectors as negative samples, by maximizing the mutual information between condition features and image features. Contrastive learning could explicitly yield the domain-invariant features. Furthermore, a marginal contrastive loss MCL is proposed to enhance the discriminability of domain-invariant features, which could effectively curb over smoothed or inaccurate correspondence. A deviation angle in MCL serves as a penalty to the positive anchor for margin preserving. Here is an illustration of learned feature representations with vanilla contrastive learning and our proposed marginal contrastive learning. Dots indicate image features. Angles denote the compactness of the learned feature clusters. On the other hand, most previous methods build the correspondence relying on the corresponding local features without knowing the scene structures. It means the scene structure could be impaired while building correspondence, which leads to distorted texture patterns and degraded generation performance. Therefore, the scene structures such as the object shapes should be leveraged to facilitate the correspondence building, especially the preservation of fine texture patterns. Inspired by the observation that the self-attention maps could encode intact image structures even with appearance variations, we design a self-correlation map mechanism to explicitly represent the scene structures associated with feature and effectively facilitate the correspondence building. Unlike the original features that would encode various attributes such as style and texture, the self-correlation map only captures the spatial correlation. To leverage SCM for building correspondence, the SCM is flattened into column vector, followed by fully connected layer to reduce the vector dimension to 256. Then the feature vector of 256 dimension is concatenated with the encoded feature in corresponding spatial location to compute cosine similarity for building correspondence. As the proposed marginal contrastive learning is employed to learn domain-invariant feature for building correspondence, the learning of self-correlation maps is also driven by the designed contrastive loss. We compare the warped exemplars and translation results by different methods as shown in the figure. Warping and result denote the warped exemplars and the final translation results. MCL and SCM denote our proposed marginal contrastive learning and self-correlation map, respectively. Here is the qualitative comparisons of different methods. It can be observed that MCLNet achieves the best visual quality with faithful styles as exemplars. Other methods are unable to capture the style from the exemplars or unable to capture detailed style features such as texture and patterns. Exemplar-based translation methods build cross-domain correspondence to capture detailed style from the exemplars, but they tend to produce blurred generation results without explicitly learning of domain-invariant features and lose texture patterns without leveraging image structure information. Our MCLNet designs MCL to learn domain-invariant features explicitly and introduce SCM to leverage the structure information for building correspondence. Besides image quality, MCLNet also demonstrates superior diversity in image translation. We can observe that MCLNet is capable of synthesizing realistic images with faithful style to the given exemplars,